Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest battle you will ever fight is not against your enemies, your circumstances, or your competition. The greatest battle is the one within yourself. We live in a world that constantly invites us to compare, compete, complain, and seek validation from others. Yet true success is born when a person learns to master their own mind, discipline their own habits, and focus on their own purpose. The topic before us today is focus only on yourself and stay silent 2026. Silence is not weakness. Silence is often a sign of strength, wisdom, and self-control. While others are busy announcing their plans, successful people are busy building them. While others are distracted by the lives of others, focused individuals are investing in their own growth. Your future does not depend on what people think about you. It depends on what you think about yourself and what you do with the gifts, talents, and potential that God has placed within you. The moment you stop looking sideways and start looking inward, your life begins to change. Today, I want to challenge you to protect your vision, guard your energy, and become so committed to your purpose that distractions lose their power over you. One of the greatest obstacles to personal growth is the habit of comparison. Many people spend their lives measuring their progress against the progress of others. They compare their income, their appearance, their achievements, their relationships, their opportunities, and even their journey. In doing so, they unknowingly surrender their peace, confidence, and focus. The problem with comparison is that it shifts your attention away from your own potential and places it on someone else's path. The moment you begin to compare yourself with others, you stop investing fully in the person you were created to become. Every human being has a unique assignment in life. No two individuals possess the exact same combination of gifts, experiences, talents, opportunities, and purpose. Yet society encourages people to compete in races they were never designed to run. Social media has amplified this problem. Every day, people are exposed to carefully selected highlights of other people's lives. They see success without sacrifice, rewards without struggle, and victories without the years of preparation that made those victories possible. As a result, many become discouraged not because they are failing, but because they are comparing their reality to someone else's presentation. Comparison creates frustration because it ignores timing. Just because someone is ahead of you in one area does not mean they are ahead of you in every area. Life is not a single race where everyone starts at the same point and finishes at the same destination. Some people experience success early, others develop slowly and achieve greatness later. A seed and a tree cannot be compared because they are in different stages of development. The seed is not inferior to the tree. It is simply at a different phase of growth. The same way, your current season should not be judged by someone else's harvest. When people focus excessively on others, they often neglect their own development. They become experts in observing other people's lives while remaining strangers to their own potential. They know what everyone else is doing, but have no clear understanding of what they themselves should be doing. Growth requires attention, and attention is limited. Every minute spent envying another person's success is a minute not spent building your own. Every moment spent complaining about someone else's advantage is a moment lost that could have been invested in learning, improving, and progressing. True growth begins when you accept responsibility for your own journey. Instead of asking why someone else is succeeding, ask how you can become better today than you were yesterday. Instead of focusing on what others possess, focus on developing what has been placed in your hands. Success is not about becoming better than another person. Success is about becoming the best version of yourself. The most important competition is not between you and others. It is between who you are today and who you are capable of becoming. People who achieve lasting success understand the power of personal growth. They do not wake up every morning trying to outperform everyone around them. They wake up with a commitment to improve themselves. They read, learn, practice, and develop skills. They understand that growth is a daily process, not a one-time event. Small improvements made consistently over time produce extraordinary results. While others are distracted by comparison, they are focused on transformation. Comparison also weakens confidence. When you constantly measure yourself against others, your self-worth becomes dependent on external factors. If someone achieves more, you feel inadequate. If someone receives recognition, you feel overlooked. If someone advances faster, you feel left behind. This creates an emotional roller coaster that prevents stability and peace. Confidence should not be built on how you rank against others. It should be built on understanding your value, your purpose, and your ability to grow. Growth requires patience because meaningful development takes time. Great character is not built overnight. Strong leadership is not developed in a week. Valuable skills are not mastered in a month. The people we admire often spend years preparing before anyone noticed them. What appears to be sudden success is usually the result of consistent effort over a long period. Those who focus on growth understand this principle. They are willing to trust the process even when immediate results are not visible. Another danger of comparison is that it can lead people away from their purpose. When individuals become obsessed with what others are doing, they may attempt to imitate paths that do not align with their own calling. They chase goals that belong to someone else. They pursue dreams that were never meant for them. In the process, they lose sight of their own unique contribution. Growth requires authenticity. You cannot become your best by trying to become someone else. The world does not need another copy of another person. It needs the original version of you. The moment you stop comparing and start growing, your energy changes. Your focus becomes clearer. Your mind becomes calmer. Your confidence becomes stronger. You begin to appreciate your progress instead of resenting someone else's success. You become more productive because your attention is directed toward improvement rather than distraction. You understand that your journey is your responsibility and that every day presents an opportunity to move forward, learn more, and become better than you were before. In a world where people feel pressured to share every idea, every plan, and every ambition, silence has become a rare and powerful discipline. Many individuals sabotage their own progress not because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity, but because they reveal too much too soon. There is a difference between having a vision and announcing a vision. There is a difference between preparing for success and talking about success. One of the greatest principles of personal growth is learning how to protect your vision through silence. A vision is a picture of a future that exists first in the mind before it becomes reality in the world. Every great achievement begins as an idea. Every business, invention, movement, and accomplishment starts with a thought that someone chooses to nurture. However, a vision in its early stages is often fragile. Just as a seed requires protection before it becomes a tree, a vision requires protection before it becomes an achievement. Exposing it too early can invite unnecessary criticism, doubt, distraction, and discouragement. Many people make the mistake of announcing their plans before they have developed them. They tell everyone what they are going to do, where they are going to go, and how successful they intend to become. Unfortunately, not everyone who hears your vision will understand it. Some people evaluate your future based on your present circumstances. They look at where you are today and assume you cannot become more tomorrow. Their limited perspective can influence your confidence if you are not careful. This is why wisdom often requires silence. Silence does not mean you are afraid. Silence does not mean you lack confidence. Silence means you understand the value of protecting what matters. A person who constantly talks about their plans may receive temporary attention, but a person who quietly works on their plans gains lasting results. The strongest foundations are often built where few people are watching. Before a building rises above the ground, extensive work takes place beneath the surface. In the same way, before success becomes visible, preparation must occur in private. One reason silence is so powerful is that it preserves energy. Every time you explain your plans to people who are not committed to helping you achieve them, you spend mental and emotional energy defending your dreams, answering unnecessary questions, and responding to skepticism can become exhausting. That energy could be invested in learning, planning, improving, and taking action. The more focused you become, the more you realize that your responsibility is not to convince everyone of your vision. Your responsibility is to develop it. There is also a danger in receiving applause too early. Sometimes people become satisfied with talking about their goals instead of accomplishing them. The excitement of discussing a dream can create the illusion of progress. They begin to enjoy the recognition associated with future success without doing the work required to achieve it. As a result, they remain stuck. True progress comes from action, not announcement. Results are produced by discipline, not discussion. History repeatedly shows that significant accomplishments often emerge from seasons of quiet preparation. The people who leave the greatest impact are usually those who spend years developing their skills, strengthening their character, and refining their vision before stepping into public recognition. What appears to be an overnight success, often the visible outcome of a long period of unseen effort. The public notices the performance, but they do not see the preparation. They celebrate the achievement, but they do not witness the sacrifices that made it possible. Protecting your vision through silence also helps you maintain clarity. When too many voices enter your decision-making process, confusion can replace conviction. Every person has an opinion, every person has advice. Every person believes they know what is best. While wise counsel has value, excessive opinions can distract you from your purpose. A focused individual learns to listen selectively. They understand that not everyone deserves access to their dreams. Access should be earned through trust, wisdom, and genuine support. Silence creates space for growth. It allows you to think deeply, evaluate carefully, and make decisions without external pressure. It helps you remain connected to your purpose rather than becoming dependent on public approval. Many people cannot move forward unless they receive validation from others. They need constant encouragement, recognition, and acceptance. However, mature individuals understand that purpose is not determined by applause. A vision remains valuable even when nobody else understands it. Another benefit of silence is that it develops self-discipline. Resisting the urge to reveal every plan requires emotional control. It teaches patience. It teaches restraint. It teaches the ability to focus on execution rather than attention. These qualities are essential for long-term success. The ability to remain committed without constant recognition is often what separates achievers from dreamers. Silence also increases the impact of results. When people talk continuously about what they intend to do, expectations rise while achievements remain uncertain. But when individuals work quietly and allow their accomplishments to speak for them, their success carries greater credibility. Words may attract attention, but results command respect. People eventually forget promises, but they remember achievements. A completed vision is always more powerful than a spoken intention. The strongest visions are not protected by secrecy alone. They are protected by consistent action. Silence is not an excuse for inactivity. It is a strategy for focus. It is the decision to spend more time building than broadcasting, more time working than explaining, and more time progressing than seeking approval. When you learn to guard your vision, limit unnecessary exposure, and dedicate yourself to disciplined action, you create an environment where your dreams can develop without interference and where your future can be shaped by purpose rather than public opinion. Many people spend their lives trying to manage their circumstances while neglecting the one thing that influences every circumstance they face, their mind. They seek to control their environment, improve their finances, fix their relationships, and achieve their goals, yet they overlook the importance of mastering their thoughts, attitudes, emotions, and beliefs. The truth is that every achievement begins in the mind before it appears in reality. Before you can successfully manage your life, you must first learn to master your mind. The mind is one of the most powerful forces in human existence. It influences decisions, shapes habits, determines responses, and directs behavior. Every action begins as a thought. Every habit begins as a repeated idea. Every success or failure can often be traced back to patterns of thinking. If your thinking is confused, your actions will eventually reflect that confusion. If your thinking is disciplined, your actions will begin to produce disciplined results. This is why personal transformation always starts internally before it becomes visible externally. Many individuals underestimate the influence of their thoughts. They believe that circumstances alone determine their future. They blame their environment, their background, their education, or other people for their lack of progress. While external factors certainly affect life, they do not completely define it. Throughout history, countless individuals have overcome difficult circumstances because they first gained control over their mindset. They refused to allow obstacles to determine their identity or their future. Instead, they developed mental strength that enabled them to rise above challenges. One of the greatest battles people face is the battle against negative thinking. Negative thoughts often appear convincing because they are repeated frequently. They tell people they are not capable, not qualified, not talented enough, or not worthy of success. Over time, these thoughts can become beliefs. Once a belief takes root, it begins influencing decisions and behavior. People start acting according to what they believe about themselves rather than what is actually possible. This is why mastering the mind requires careful attention to the thoughts you allow to remain there. A disciplined mind does not accept every thought as truth. It evaluates ideas, challenges limitations, and replaces destructive thinking with productive thinking. Mental mastery is not the absence of negative thoughts. It is the ability to refuse control to them. Successful people are not individuals who never experience doubt, fear, or uncertainty. They are individuals who refuse to allow those emotions to dominate their decisions. They understand that feelings are temporary, but choices have lasting consequences. Another aspect of mastering the mind is controlling emotional reactions. Many people lose opportunities not because they lack ability, but because they lack emotional discipline. Anger causes them to say things they later regret. Fear prevents them from taking necessary risks. Pride keeps them from learning. Impatience leads them to abandon worthwhile goals before results appear. Emotions are valuable indicators, but they are poor leaders. A mature person learns to acknowledge emotions without becoming controlled by them. Mental mastery also requires taking responsibility for personal growth. The mind cannot develop automatically. Just as the body requires exercise to become stronger, the mind requires continuous learning to become sharper. Individuals who desire progress must feed their minds with knowledge, wisdom, and valuable experiences. Reading, studying, observing, and learning from others contribute to mental development. Growth does not happen by accident. It happens through intentional investment in the quality of your thinking. One reason many people remain stuck is because they continue to think in ways that support their limitations. They desire a different life while maintaining the same mindset that created their current results. Change becomes difficult because external transformation rarely occurs without internal transformation. If a person wants greater opportunities, they must develop greater thinking. If they desire greater responsibility, they must cultivate greater discipline. New results often require a renewed mindset. The mind also plays a critical role in maintaining focus. Modern life is filled with distractions competing for attention. News, entertainment, opinions, social media, and endless information constantly pull people in different directions. Without mental discipline, it becomes difficult to remain committed to meaningful goals. A focused mind understands the importance of priorities. It learns to distinguish between what is urgent and what is important. It understands that not every opportunity deserves attention and not every distraction deserves a response. Mastering the mind means developing the ability to direct your attention toward what truly matters. Attention is one of the most valuable resources a person possesses. Wherever attention goes, energy follows. Wherever energy flows, results eventually appear. If attention is constantly scattered, progress becomes slow and inconsistent. If attention is concentrated on growth, learning, and purposeful action, progress accelerates. Another important aspect of mental mastery is resilience. Life inevitably presents setbacks, disappointments, and unexpected challenges. Individuals who have not developed their minds often become discouraged by temporary failures. They interpret setbacks as proof that success is impossible. However, mentally strong individuals view difficulties differently. They see obstacles as lessons, failures as feedback, and challenges as opportunities for growth. Their mindset allows them to persist when others quit. The quality of your life is closely connected to the quality of your thinking. Every decision, every relationship, every habit, and every achievement is influenced by the condition of your mind. Before you can effectively manage your finances, career, relationships, or future, you must learn to manage your thoughts, emotions, attitudes, and beliefs. A disciplined mind creates a disciplined life. A focused mind creates purposeful action. A resilient mind creates endurance. When you gain mastery over your mind, you place yourself in a position to influence every other area of your life with greater wisdom, confidence, and effectiveness. One of the greatest distractions in modern society is the desire for approval. Many people make decisions based not on what is right for their growth, but on what will earn the praise, recognition, and acceptance of others. They become trapped in a cycle of seeking validation from people whose opinions have little impact on their future. As a result, they lose focus, abandon their purpose, and sacrifice progress for popularity. True success begins when a person learns to focus on progress instead of public approval. Human beings naturally appreciate encouragement and recognition. There is nothing wrong with receiving appreciation for hard work or accomplishments. The problem arises when approval becomes a necessity rather than a bonus. When people become dependent on the opinions of others, they surrender control over their confidence and direction. Their self-worth rises when they are praised and falls when they are criticized. Their decisions become influenced by external reactions rather than internal conviction. This creates instability because public opinion is constantly changing. The reality is that people will always have opinions. Some will support your goals while others will question them. Some will celebrate your success while others will criticize it. Some will believe in your potential while others will doubt it. If your motivation depends entirely on the approval of others, your progress will constantly be interrupted. Every negative comment will discourage you. Every criticism will feel like a personal attack. Every lack of recognition will seem like failure. A person who lives for approval becomes vulnerable to the changing attitudes of others. Progress, however, is different. Progress is measured by growth, learning, discipline, and improvement. It does not depend on applause. It depends on action. A person who focuses on progress understands that meaningful development often occurs long before anyone notices it. They recognize that some of the most important work happens in private, away from attention and recognition. They are willing to continue moving forward even when nobody is watching. One of the reasons people seek approval is because they want confirmation that they are on the right path. While encouragement can be helpful, it should not become the primary source of confidence. Confidence should come from knowing your purpose, understanding your values, and remaining committed to your goals. When your confidence is rooted in purpose, criticism becomes less intimidating. You understand that not everyone will agree with your choices, and you no longer expect universal approval. History provides countless examples of individuals who achieved remarkable things despite facing opposition and criticism. Many innovators, leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries were doubted before they were celebrated. Their ideas were questioned, their abilities were challenged, their ambitions were misunderstood. If they had waited for universal approval before taking action, their achievements would never have become reality. They succeeded because they valued progress more than acceptance. Another danger of seeking approval is that it can cause people to compromise their authenticity. In an effort to please others, they begin changing their beliefs, goals, and behavior. They become versions of themselves designed to satisfy expectations rather than expressions of their true identity. Over time, this creates frustration because living for approval requires constant performance. It becomes exhausting to maintain an image that is disconnected from who you truly are. Progress requires authenticity because genuine growth can only occur when you are honest about where you are and where you want to go. You cannot improve a life you are pretending to live. You cannot develop strengths you refuse to acknowledge or overcome weaknesses you refuse to confront. Growth begins with self-awareness, not public approval. It begins with a willingness to evaluate yourself honestly and commit to continuous improvement. Focusing on progress also helps individuals develop patience. Approval often seeks immediate rewards. People want recognition now. They want attention now. They want validation now. Progress, however, is a long-term process. It requires consistency, discipline, and persistence. Many valuable accomplishments take months or years to achieve. Those who focus on progress understand that meaningful results are worth waiting for. They are willing to invest time and effort without immediate recognition because they understand that growth is happening even when it is not visible. Another important truth is that results eventually speak louder than opinions. People may question your decisions today, but consistent progress has a way of changing perceptions over time. The most effective response to doubt is often not argument but achievement. Instead of spending energy defending your vision, invest that energy in developing it. Instead of seeking validation through words, demonstrate your commitment through action. Accomplishments carry a credibility that explanations cannot match. Progress also creates a deeper sense of fulfillment than approval ever can. Approval is temporary. The praise of today may disappear tomorrow. Public attention is often short-lived. Growth, however, produces lasting benefits. New skills, stronger character, greater wisdom, improved habits, and meaningful accomplishments remain valuable regardless of whether others acknowledge them. These are rewards that cannot be taken away by changing opinions. People who focus on progress develop resilience because their motivation comes from within rather than from external reactions. They learn to continue working when encouragement is absent. They learn to remain disciplined when recognition is delayed. They learn to stay committed when others lose interest. Their focus remains on becoming better rather than becoming popular. The most successful individuals understand that they cannot control what others think, say, or believe. What they can control is their effort, their attitude, their discipline, and their commitment to growth. They understand that approval is unpredictable, but progress is achievable. Every day presents an opportunity to learn, improve, and move closer to their goals. Instead of measuring their value by public opinion, they measure their success by personal development. By focusing on progress rather than public approval, they create lives defined by purpose, achievement, and lasting fulfillment rather than by the temporary opinions of others. One of the most important qualities that separates successful individuals from those who constantly struggle to achieve their goals is discipline. Talent is valuable, intelligence is useful, and opportunity can be helpful, but none of these can consistently replace discipline. Many people have extraordinary potential, yet they fail to reach their desired future because they rely on motivation instead of developing disciplined habits. Motivation may inspire you to begin, but discipline is what enables you to continue. If you want lasting success, you must turn discipline into your daily habit. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. It is the decision to remain committed to your responsibilities even when enthusiasm is absent. Most people enjoy activities when they are motivated, excited, or emotionally energized. The challenge arises when those feelings disappear. There are days when people do not feel like studying, exercising, working, learning, or improving themselves. Those who depend entirely on motivation often stop during these moments. Those who develop discipline continue moving forward because their actions are guided by commitment rather than emotion. One reason discipline is so powerful is that success is rarely the result of a single action. Success is usually the product of consistent effort repeated over time. Small decisions made daily often determine the quality of a person's future. A single workout may not transform a body, but repeated workouts over months and years can produce remarkable results. A single page of reading may not create expertise, but consistent learning can build exceptional knowledge. A single act of saving money may seem insignificant, but disciplined financial habits can create long-term stability. Great achievements are often the accumulation of small actions performed consistently. Many people underestimate the importance of daily habits because the results are not immediately visible. They become discouraged when effort does not produce instant rewards. However, discipline teaches patience. It teaches individuals to trust the process even when progress appears slow. Every positive habit contributes to future success, even when immediate evidence is lacking. Just as a farmer does not expect a harvest the day after planting seeds, disciplined individuals understand that worthwhile results require time and persistence. Turning discipline into a daily habit begins with understanding the difference between interest and commitment. Many people are interested in success, but only a few are truly committed to it. Interest is convenient. It lasts as long as circumstances are favorable. Commitment remains even when conditions become difficult. When people are merely interested, they work only when it is comfortable. When they are committed, they continue regardless of discomfort. Commitment transforms discipline from an occasional effort into a consistent lifestyle. Another important aspect of discipline is self-control. Every day people face choices between what is easy and what is beneficial. The easy choice often provides immediate pleasure but limited long-term value. The beneficial choice may require effort and sacrifice but leads to future rewards. Discipline is the ability to choose long-term gain over short-term comfort. It is the willingness to delay gratification in pursuit of a greater outcome. Those who master this principle place themselves in a position to achieve goals that others abandon. Discipline also creates reliability. People who consistently fulfill their responsibilities earn trust and respect. Employers trust disciplined employees. Teams depend on disciplined members. Families benefit from disciplined leaders. Reliability is not built through occasional excellence, but through consistent performance. Individuals who develop disciplined habits become known for their dependability because others can count on them to follow through on their commitments. One of the greatest obstacles to discipline is the desire for immediate comfort. Human nature often seeks the easiest path. It prefers convenience over effort and entertainment over responsibility. While occasional rest and enjoyment are important, a life dominated by comfort rarely produces significant achievement. Growth often occurs outside the boundaries of convenience. Learning requires effort. Improvement requires practice. Success requires persistence. Discipline enables people to move beyond comfort and embrace the actions necessary for development. Another benefit of discipline is that it reduces dependence on emotions. Emotions are valuable, but they are inconsistent. Some days people feel confident, energetic, and enthusiastic. Other days they feel tired, discouraged, or uncertain. If performance depends entirely on emotional state, consistency becomes impossible. Discipline provides stability because it creates routines and habits that function regardless of temporary feelings. Instead of asking whether they feel like taking action, disciplined individuals simply do what needs to be done. The development of discipline does not happen overnight. It is built through repeated choices. Every time a person follows through on a commitment, discipline becomes stronger. Every time they resist distraction and remain focused on their priorities, discipline grows. Every time they choose responsibility over convenience, they strengthen their ability to control their actions. Otherwise, champions become habits, and those habits begin shaping character. Discipline also influences confidence. People believe confidence comes first and action follows. In reality, confidence often grows through disciplined action. When individuals repeatedly keep promises to themselves, they develop trust in their own abilities. They begin to believe they can handle challenges because they have consistently demonstrated commitment. Self-confidence becomes stronger because it is supported by evidence rather than wishful thinking. Life presents countless distractions that compete for attention. Opportunities, entertainment, social pressures, and unexpected challenges can easily pull people away from their goals. Discipline serves as a guiding force that keeps individuals focused on what matters most. It reminds them of their priorities when distractions appear. It keeps them moving forward when obstacles arise. It enables them to maintain consistency when others become discouraged. The difference between dreaming and achieving often comes down to discipline. Dreams provide direction, but discipline provides progress. Goals create vision, but discipline creates results. Every meaningful accomplishment requires a willingness to act consistently, even when circumstances are difficult. By turning discipline into a daily habit, individuals build a foundation for lasting success. They create patterns of behavior that support growth, strengthen character, increase reliability, and move them steadily toward the future they desire. Through daily discipline, ordinary actions become extraordinary achievements over time. In a world filled with constant noise, opinions, and self-promotion, many people feel the need to continually explain themselves. They announce their goals, defend their decisions, justify their actions, and seek recognition for every step they take. However, one of the most powerful principles of success is understanding that results speak louder than words. Words may create attention for a moment, but results create respect that lasts. Those who truly accomplish great things often spend less time talking about what they intend to do and more time doing it. There is nothing wrong with having ambitions, dreams, or goals. The problem begins when talking about success becomes a substitute for working toward success. Many individuals become so focused on discussing their plans that they neglect the effort required to achieve them. They enjoy describing the future they want, but struggle to commit to the daily actions necessary to create it. As a result, they remain trapped in a cycle of promises without progress. Real achievement is built through consistent action, not repeated announcements. One reason results are so powerful is that they remove the need for constant explanation. When a person consistently produces quality work, demonstrates strong character, and achieves meaningful outcomes, their accomplishments become evidence of their commitment. They no longer need to convince others of their capabilities because their results provide proof. Evidence is always stronger than argument. Performance is always more persuasive than promises. Many people waste valuable energy trying to gain approval through words. They attempt to persuade others that they are talented, capable, intelligent, or successful. Yet genuine credibility is not established through self-promotion. It is established through demonstrated value. A person can claim excellence, but only consistent results can confirm it. This is why truly successful individuals often focus their energy on development rather than publicity. They understand that time spent improving skills, strengthening character, and producing results yields greater rewards than time spent seeking attention. Results also create confidence. Confidence that is based solely on words is often fragile because it depends on perception. However, confidence built on achievement is stronger because it is supported by experience. When people consistently follow through on commitments, overcome challenges, and accomplish goals, they develop trust in themselves. They no longer rely on praise to feel capable because they have evidence of their own growth and ability. Their confidence becomes rooted in action rather than opinion. Another reason results matter is that they reveal true priorities. Anyone can speak about discipline, commitment, and success. Words are easy. Results require effort, sacrifice, and persistence. What a person consistently produces often reveals more about their priorities than what they say. Actions expose commitment. Habits reveal values. Outcomes reflect decisions. While words describe intentions, results reveal reality. Many individuals become discouraged because others fail to recognize their potential. They feel overlooked, underestimated, or misunderstood. In response, they spend time defending themselves and trying to prove their worth through arguments. Yet one of the most effective responses to doubt is achievement. Instead of becoming distracted by criticism, focused individuals continue working. Instead of arguing with skeptics, they invest their energy in progress. They understand that success often provides a stronger answer than any explanation ever could. Results are especially important because they create influence. People are naturally inspired by examples. They pay attention to individuals who demonstrate excellence through action. A person who consistently produces valuable outcomes earns credibility because others can see the evidence of their effort. Leadership is strengthened when actions align with words. Trust increases when promises are supported by performance. Influence grows when achievements reflect commitment. There is also wisdom in allowing time to reveal your progress. Many people feel pressure to share every stage of their journey. They announce plans before taking action and publicize intentions before developing results. While sharing goals is not inherently wrong, excessive focus on external recognition can become a distraction. Quiet progress often produces stronger outcomes because attention remains directed toward execution rather than approval. Individuals who concentrate on their work instead of their image frequently achieve greater success over time. Results require patience because meaningful accomplishments rarely happen instantly. Modern culture often celebrates quick success, but lasting achievement is usually the product of consistent effort over long periods. Skills must be developed, knowledge must be acquired, habits must be strengthened, character must be refined. These processes take time. Those who understand this principle remain committed even when immediate recognition is absent. They trust that consistent effort will eventually produce visible outcomes. Another important lesson is that results create opportunities. People are more likely to support individuals who demonstrate reliability and excellence. Employers notice performance, clients appreciate quality, communities respect contribution. Opportunities often emerge when people consistently deliver value. Instead of chasing attention, productive individuals focus on becoming valuable. They understand that competence attracts opportunities more effectively than self-promotion. Results also protect people from unnecessary distractions. When your focus is on producing meaningful outcomes, you become less concerned with criticism, comparison, and public opinion. Your attention remains fixed on improvement. You spend less time worrying about what others think and more time investing in what you can control. This mindset creates greater productivity because energy is directed toward progress rather than distraction. One of the most powerful qualities a person can develop is the ability to remain committed without constant recognition. Not every effort will be noticed immediately. Not every sacrifice will receive applause. Not every achievement will be celebrated. However, those who continue working despite limited recognition often build the strongest foundations for future success. Their motivation comes from purpose rather than praise. Their discipline comes from commitment rather than attention. The most respected individuals are often those whose actions consistently match their words. They do not need to exaggerate their abilities because their accomplishments demonstrate them. They do not need to announce every intention because their progress becomes visible over time. They understand that while words may create temporary impressions, results create lasting impact. By focusing on meaningful action, maintaining discipline, and allowing achievements to speak for themselves, they build lives characterized by credibility, influence, and genuine success.